Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are South.
Saturday night in Miami, and once again, Giancarlo Stanton looks to crack the 60 home run plateau. He's got his third crack at Atlanta, 1 game left after tonight. It's game 3 of our series in Miami between the Braves and the Miami Marlins. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome back to the ballpark. The Braves kept Stanton in the ballpark yesterday, but couldn't keep the Marlins under control in the late innings. Miami came back from a 5-0 deficit to win 6-5 in game 2 of this series. But still, Joe, all the talk around Major League Baseball centers around Giancarlo Stanton. 59 home runs and a very interesting trek to 59 here in the final weekend of the year.
Yeah, let's kind of look at how it all breaks down in terms of when he hit them, how far he's hit them, and on the count that he has hit the most home runs. 12 on a 1-1 count, 14 in the first inning. That really surprised me, but moving up into the 2-hole in the order really has made a difference for him. 7 of his homers tied the game. 26 have given the Marlins the lead, and he's hit over 4.5 miles of homers. 2.5 miles of that came here in game 1.
Yeah, they were missiles against the Atlanta Braves staff here at Marlins Park. And so the task for Lucas Sims, very simple. Keep Stanton under control and keep doing what you've been doing. Lucas is putting a very impressive finish to his rookie year.
He's got the only win on this road trip, and that was in game 1 of the road trip in New York, and I thought he was outstanding. He had all his pitches working, but you'll notice here he's keeping the ball down in the zone. That was a good backdoor slider, but a good changeup. He had a good 2-seam sinker working too. He got a lot of check swings, as you saw there, and a lot of guys wondering what in the world was going on because Lucas was dazzling. The only 2 runs he gave up in that start were given up by the bullpen after they had reached against him in the 7th inning. Good numbers his last 2 starts. Let's hope it continues again tonight.
Time for a win. It's been too long for the Braves on the road trip. Atlanta's lost 5 consecutive games. They've lost the first 2 of this series against the Marlins. We'll see what happens as Lucas Sims gets the ball in just a few minutes. Beautiful day for baseball in Miami. We'll have lineups, first pitch, and a report from Kelsey Wingert when we come back to Marlins Park after this.
sponsored by your local Ford dealer and the Georgia Lottery.
Beautiful day in Miami. As per custom, hot, muggy weather. The roof on here at Marlins Park. Nice crowd gathered on a Saturday night for Star Wars night and for the Braves and Marlins, game 3 of our 4-game series. Lucas Sims' assignment to control the Miami club and snap the Braves' 5-game losing streak. And in the process also make sure Giancarlo Stanton doesn't get to home run number 60. Stanton's had a big series, 2 homers, 5 hits, 4 RBIs. And he'll try to support Odrisamer Despaigne, who's been a pretty pleasant surprise for Miami in the second half of the season.
He would like to have a baseball, though, to try to warm up with. There we go. Should be ready to go now. He's 30 years old. He's no kid. 6 feet, 215. They signed him out of Cuba. Actually, they got him. He signed out of Cuba, and they got him after being with a couple of other organizations. He made a start against the Braves on September 10th and walked the ballpark. 6 walks in 3 2/3 innings, but believe it or not, he got a no decision. His teammates were able to cover up for him, and then Lane Adams hit a walk-off homer to win the ball game late. He is 1-3 on the year, 4.21 ERA, low to mid-90s fastball, slider, and changeup. They sent him back to the minor leagues briefly and told him they wanted him to be more aggressive, and he has been just that since he came back.
So Despaigne will face this lineup presented by manager Brian Snitker. Albies, Markakis, and Freeman first, second, and third. Ender Inciarte's thumb still problematic. Tyler Flowers the cleanup man. Lane Adams in center. He's homered in 2 consecutive games. Rio Ruiz is the Braves' third baseman. Dansby Swanson, Jace Peterson, Lucas Sims 7th, 8th, and 9th. Braves trying to not only snap this losing streak, but now need to win the last 2 games of the series to avoid another 90-loss season. So that's something for which to play. As Atlanta enters action tonight, 71-89 and 12-15 in the month of September.
Nobody likes a 5-game losing streak, but you especially don't like it right here at the end of the year. You want to go out on a good note. So hopefully a win tonight, 1 tomorrow, make everybody feel a little better.
Ozzie Albies leading off for the 5th time with the Braves. And the first pitch from Despaigne missed up and away, and we're underway. Ball 1. Ozzie's riding high, a 4-game hitting streak, 9 for 17 in that stretch. And this one's popped up toward third. Brian Anderson is a good third baseman and an excellent TV broadcaster for the Brewers. Makes the play for the first out. Here's Markakis, the Braves right fielder at 272 on the year, 8 homers, 75 knocked in. Nick batted cleanup last night and in game 1 as well.
Well, the Braves offense has really gone quiet since that win in New York. Last 5 games during this losing streak, they've only scored a total of 12 runs. I remember one of the losses in New York was when they had a bunch of guys left on base. They had a lead. They kept squandering opportunities to add to the lead.
Sharply hit and through Gordon and Bohr, so Markakis aboard with a first inning single, and that'll bring up first baseman Freddie Freeman.
Little cutter coming into him. Good start for Nick's night. Snaps an 0 for 7 in this series.
Freddie Freeman's 1 for 5 in the series. He walked 3 times and was hit by a pitch once last night. And he's trying to finish the season with an on-base percentage above 400. And a night like that will certainly help. But like any good hitter, he'd like to hit his way on if possible. Freeman at 404 for his on-base percentage starting play tonight. And an even 400 on base last season. He's trying to become the 3rd Atlanta Brave with back-to-back seasons of an on-base percentage of 400 or higher. Something Chipper Jones and Gary Sheffield have previously accomplished. That missed inside. Ball 2. Braves got 4 first-inning runs last night off Dan Straley. Added a run in the second. Led 5-0. Looked like it was going to be a laugher the way Gohara was pitching. As this one's hammered down the line, and it is foul. 2-2. But then the Marlins went to their bullpen, and all of a sudden the Braves couldn't get anybody on. At one point they had 14 of 15 batters retired through the middle innings, and that allowed Miami to catch up in the 6th and again in the 7th. So got to keep adding on if you can get some early runs, and that just missed. Espana thought it was good enough.
Well, Atlanta got 10 hits last night, but 6 of them came in the first 3 innings. And there you go. Talking about the middle inning drought.
Markakis running, and the pitch is low. Freeman walks again. That was a problem for Despaigne in Atlanta when the Braves saw him September 10th. He walked 6 men in 3 2/3 innings.
Freddie got hit by a pitch last night, and that walk makes his 4th in the series. To go with only 1 hit. Been on base a lot.
Two on, 1 out for Tyler Flowers, who's sporting a .282 average. Didn't mean to swing. A bouncing ball to Bohr. He'll concede the base. He'll step on the bag at first. And men are at second and third with 2 outs for a blazing hot Lane Adams. Not sure if the hitters will be penalized for grounding their club if a ball's hit the front of the plate. Look at all the sand that's between the mound and home plate. Very little grass left.
Yeah, that's very sad.
And a strike to Adams.
And a result of having to keep the roof closed during all the bad weather that was leading up to and following Hurricane Irma.
And it's really everywhere. Foul ground up the first base line, down the right field line, down the left field line, and along the left field warning track. There is a lot of dead spaces that they're trying to keep presentable here in the final days of the 2017 season. One ball, 1 strike for Lane Adams, who couldn't check his swing. Lane hit a 3-run homer in the first last night. Let's see if history repeats itself tonight.
Well, he hit a home run his last at bat on Thursday night, and a home run in his first at bat last night. Back-to-back ABs with a homer. 5 on the year.
And now the 1-2 is up and away. That's headed for the seats foul as we take a look at Lane Adams' extended run of good work. That's our Georgia lottery feature.
Last 18 games, 3 homers, 9 RBIs, great OPS. Filling in for Matt Kemp, filling in for Ender Inciarte. Can play all 3 outfield spots.
He takes strike 3 over the inside corner, and Despaigne with a gutsy pitch got the call. Braves strand a pair in the first inning. Stanton watch coming up in the bottom of the first. Lucas Sims stands in the way, coming off an exciting performance on this road trip. His last time out against the Mets was a victorious one.
I wanted to show you his splits, lefties versus righties. 7 home runs allowed to right-handers versus 1 to lefties. And the reason I wanted to show you this is because 2 of those home runs came in his first inning in his first ever start against Miami. And that was back on August 6th. So his 4 keys to pitching success: first inning, get through that, then start cruising and stay on the attack as he has been all along.
First pitch to D. Gordon is bounced past Freddie Freeman and down the right field line. That'll find its way to the sand trap. And Markakis picks it up, and D. Gordon on the first pitch guides a 2-base hit down the right field line.
Slider chopped into the ground. Freddie was in case he tried to bunt, so he got an in-between hop. We're going to score it a hit. Here's Stanton.
He's had a big series, 5 hits, 2 homers. His first crack at number 60 tonight. And he bounces one again to first, but Freeman makes the play this time, and the runner to third with 1 out. That's an example of the new Giancarlo Stanton and what that stance has done for him. He has been able to hit the ball the other way with a lot more frequency, albeit this time not with as much power as we've seen.
Well, and don't think for a minute that it looked good because he got the runner to third, runner at second, nobody out. But Don Mattingly doesn't care about that. He wants him to hit one in the seats.
So here's Christian Yelich, who had a day off yesterday. Yelich 0 for 4 in the series. He's worn out the Braves. 9 RBIs head-to-head this year, 80 in total. And taken high, ball 1.
In that game in Atlanta against Miami, Sims gave up 4 runs in the first, 3-run homer to Ozuna, back-to-back homer to Real Muto, and then he didn't give up anything after that. Trouble is he got matched up with Urania, who limited the Braves to 1 run.
D. Gordon at third, 1 out. Yelich didn't mean to. And now a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Yelich comes in hitting .280. The lowest average he's had in the big leagues is .284. His first full year in the big leagues.
Well, it's obvious he's washed up. They should go ahead and trade him now.
Last year he had 293, excuse me, 298, 21 homers, 98 driven in.
Good hitters count now. 3 balls and a strike. That's in his second deck. And a full count. Now Lucas ready with another payoff pitch, and Yelich spoiled it. Of course, the big news in Miami, not just Giancarlo Stanton, but the Sherman Jeter group got unanimous approval to purchase the Marlins from Jeffrey Loria. Heard today that the sale might be closed as of Tuesday next week. First, the 3-2 offering fouled away, and then I think the real excitement begins, or anxiety begins, for a lot of these Marlins players. If the Marlins cut payroll, who's going to go? Yelich's name certainly would be at the top of many teams' wish lists if he was to be made available. Again, Sims ready. Here it comes. And Yelich takes ball 4 high. Runners at the corners with 1 out for Justin Bour, who's the 4th place hitter on Don Mattingly's Toyota starting lineup.
No Marcell Ozuna tonight. He gets a night off. Yelich got a night off last night. I got to tell you, if I'm Ozuna, I want to play. Kind of year he's having, I want to see what kind of numbers I can put up with 2 games left.
Bour's up to 82 RBIs, 18 of those in his last 14 games. He's got 2 RBIs in this series. Braves have a shift on for him, and that's way outside. Ball 1.
Bour was not in the lineup against Sims in Atlanta. He was still nursing a bad ankle. First time he's faced him.
There's a strike. It's 1-1. The AL East race has been decided. Boston beat Houston today. Yankees beat Toronto 2-1, but it's still a 2-game deficit, 1 game left. So Boston will play Houston in the first round of the playoffs. The pitch lifted high in the air toward left. Jace Peterson is under it. He's got it. Tagging from third is D. Gordon. He's going to score. It's a sacrifice fly, and Miami scores first.
RBI number 83 for Bour, who also missed a lot of time. Solid year.
So the first inning rises up for Lucas Sims. A hit and a walk, and now a sac fly has him trailing in game. Runner goes. Flowers' throw is going to short hop the bag at second. Yelich has a stolen base, his 16th of the year.
Excellent crossover step, long strides, a lot like Lane Adams in that regard.
Anderson did not swing. 1 ball, no strikes. Anderson began the year at Jacksonville for the Jumbo Shrimp, then moved to New Orleans and the Baby Cakes. Now he's in Miami with the Marlins, and he's pushed off the plate. 2-1 the count.
He's probably got quite a collection of jerseys.
Can you imagine?
Pretty good pitch.
Justin Bour's sacrifice fly plates the first run tonight. And Lucas ready for his 18th first inning pitch. Now it's full count. Here it comes, and that's taken up and in. Sims was walking to the dugout. He thought that was strike 3.
I thought it was almost the identical pitch to the one before, but that was up.
So a long first inning continues. First and second, 2 outs for Derek Dietrich, who's had a career year. 12 homers and 50 RBIs, both major league highs for him. No swing, ball 1.
Talked about Julio Teheran in the opening game of this series, just not having any command of his fastball in particular, but not much else either, and it really cost him. Slow start here for Lucas. A lot of pitches. 21.
More balls than strikes with 2 walks, and this one's lifted high in the air down the right field line. If it's fair, it's gone. It is off the pole. It's a home run. Dietrich extends his career marks in homers and RBIs. A 2-out, 3-run homer, and the Marlins lead 4-0.
His 3rd homer of the year against Atlanta. Now remember, he went to Georgia Tech, so he's doing some damage, trying to do a little body English there, and watch it hit the pole over there, the concrete pillar just to the left of the foul pole.
So he was rambling. He sure is wrecking.
And another 4 spot in the first by the Marlins off Sims.
So A.J. Ellis is the Marlins catcher. He's got his average over 200. 201 to be exact. And a line drive into center.
The Braves got 4 in the first last night. Wasn't enough.
Chuck Hernandez trots to the mound to talk it over with Lucas Sims. Well, prior to this game tonight, Braves starters, rookie starters, have done a pretty representative job on the road trip. A collective 3.91 ERA in the first 4 games that they pitched. Some of that was blown up last night with Gohara going out for an extra inning that tagged on a couple of runs without him getting it out in the 7th inning. So tonight's first inning notwithstanding, by and large, Lucas Sims and company have given the Braves a chance to win, which they've only done once in the first 6 games on this final trip.
He can only hope to do what he did in Atlanta, and that's shut him out the rest of the time he's in the ball game and give his offense a chance.
Miguel Rojas is the 8th Miami hitter in the first. Fly back our way and out of reach. It's a ball and a strike. Rojas took a fastball down the middle. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
As I recall, his velocity in New York was as high as we've seen it. It was in the 93, touched 94 a time or two, maybe even 95.
.94 there, and it tied Rojas up.
Well, one of the great qualities that we've come to admire about Lucas is that he is a bulldog and he will compete. And while he's been touched up here in the first inning, doesn't mean that he's folded his tent by any means. Stay aggressive and see what your offense can do with Despaigne.
Another 1-2 pitch. It's going to take Lucas at least 30 pitches to get out of the first inning tonight. Two balls, 2 strikes. A Bohr sac fly and a Dietrich home run here in the opening inning.
Just not locating, and it's not a, with these young guys, as well as most of them have pitched at one time or another, there is the inexperience, or the inconsistency rather, that goes with inexperience.
So Ellis will be off with the pitch. There he goes. And this one's golfed into left center field. That's going to get down. Adams is going to have to play that off the scoreboard. Ellis around third. He's going to score. Rojas streaking toward third, and he'll make it with a slide. RBI triple.
Slider in the middle of the plate. They have now hit for the cycle in this inning. 26th RBI for Rojas.
So Despaigne gets to come up in the first inning. He's got a 5-0 lead. He's 1 for 15 as a hitter. Ground ball to third. Tricky hop. And Rio stayed with it and makes the throw to first. As Joe just said, the Marlins hit for the cycle in the first inning. An RBI triple, a 3-run homer, and a sac fly. It's 5-0.
One-of-a-kind swag through the Coors Light XP app. Earn points by entering codes from specially marked 12 packs of Coors Light, playing trivia, or posting on Instagram with the hashtag Coors Light XP Rewards. The Coors Light XP app is available on Android and iOS.
Welcome to the deeper coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Let's check out the news and notes. A whole lot more clarity now with regards to the Major League Baseball playoff races.
Yeah, that really shocked me when I saw that the Red Sox had clinched back-to-back AL East titles for the first time in their history. Big surprise there. Charlie Blackmon, most RBIs as a leadoff hitter, new Major League record, and coincidentally, boy, Brewers had the lead about halfway through that ball game, so something ugly must have happened late. They are now eliminated, but what a season for the Brewers, and a great job by Craig Counsell. The Colorado Rockies will now go to Arizona on Wednesday and play in the wild card game.
And the winner of that game will face off with the Los Angeles Dodgers. In the division series, the Cubs will play Washington. That's been a matchup set for a while. So here we go to the second inning. Let's pick up the pieces. 5-0 Miami after one inning. Rio Ruiz, Dansby Swanson, and Jace Peterson, the first three coming up.
St. Louis beat Milwaukee 7-6. They scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th to take the lead and hang on.
But I'm with you. What a job by Craig Counsell to take a Brewers club that was really not expected to do a whole lot in that division to the final 2 days of the regular season before they're knocked out. Excellent work for the Brewers, who have a chance to win 86 games if they can win tomorrow. Little roller back to the mound. Despaigne's got that. His flip to first in plenty of time. 1 out. Here's Dansby batting .230 for the year. 6 homers, 49 driven in.
was that number that Dansby was scuffling with right before he got sent down? Like 9 for 49, something like that.
I'll look up. It was
something
good.
Something like that.
150, something like that.
Yeah, and he's in a 10 for 62 right now. One thing you hope Swanson will be able to learn from this and be able to do next year is not have to endure any of those long dry spells, because they've just pretty much killed his average, even though he's had some similar hot spots to go with it.
2 balls, 1 strike. Well, we've talked about the pitchers and the inconsistencies they deal with at the major league level. This is Dansby's rookie year. Yes, he played with the Braves late in September, but at the major league level, it's an altogether different grind, I would think. I would assume that having experienced this now, he'll be better prepared to handle it next year.
Yeah, it's adjustments. We talk about that a lot. Knowing the pitchers better, and knowing how they're trying to get you out from one team to the next, and within that team, one pitcher to the next. So all of that's a learning process. It's also a learning process to get adjusted to the grind of playing every day and trying to keep yourself ready.
Lined right back to the pitcher.
And what else is new for him?
And I was going to say, if there's one play that symbolizes some of his struggles, it's been plays like that. Might recall the first 6 weeks of the season, he was hitting line drives everywhere that were finding gloves and not grass.
I don't know that anybody on the team is hitting tougher luck all year than that guy.
Jace Peterson, the batter, playing left field tonight and hitting .214 for the season. And he lines this one into right center field. Stanton trots over and makes the stop. And that is the second Atlanta hit, and at the very least it clears Lucas Sims.
4th hit in 14 at bats for Jace on the road trip, and he's had himself a good September.
Cut by Sims, who didn't get it. Strike 1. Lucas picked up his first hit in the 6th inning up in New York and scored a run against the Mets. But he's got to work overtime here, down 2 strikes. And that's the inning. Second strikeout for Despaigne. He has a shutdown frame. Giancarlo Stanton's coming up again with Miami up 5-0.
Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Let's go places. And SunTrust.
There are the unhappy totals after an inning and a half. Miami 5, Atlanta nothing in Game 3 of our series in South Florida. And a reminder for you, MLB.com at bat, your #1 mobile app for live Braves baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Braves home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video, radio, and StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. D. Gordon doubled past Freddie Freeman back in the first inning and scored on a sacrifice fly. Gordon's now scored 112 runs for the Marlins, second only to Stanton on their club. And now 2 hits away from a 200-hit year, and a bunt try. It's a beauty, and he's going to have an infield hit. .199 hits for D. Gordon.
Perfect pitch to push down the third baseline too. Breaking ball that stayed up and out away from him. No chance for Lucas. Juan Pierre has the most hits in Marlins history in one season, 221.
So 5 hits for Gordon in the series, 2 today, and once again Stanton is coming up. And that pushed him off the plate. Showed you that amazing graphic on the 59 homers that Stanton has hit. 24,675 feet worth of homers. Almost 5 miles worth. And to put that in Technicolor perspective here, the beautiful, in quotation marks, home run sculpture is 75 feet high. The total of Stanton's homers would be taller than 329 of those sculptures stacked on top of each other. And the second one he hit here the other night was as hard hit a ball we've seen anybody hit against the Braves this year. Almost to the glass panels in left field. 1 ball, no strikes. And he took that fastball for an even count.
Yeah, 118.7 mile an hour exit velocity, which was, I think, the 3rd highest for the year in Major League Baseball. He does not hit pop-ups for homers. He does not hit long, high fly balls that just carry out. He hits long drives.
Sims ready with the 1-1 pitch. Gordon's running. The pitch is high and dropped. So that's his 59th stolen base. He and Billy Hamilton are fighting it out for the stolen base championship in the National League. So another RBI chance for Stanton, who bounced out his first time. And Hamilton did not have a steal for the Reds today. So Gordon's tied 59-59 with the rest of this game and tomorrow to play.
So a couple of guys could get 60 today.
Right. Well, what do you throw Stanton here? 3 balls and a strike.
Well, unfortunately, there's not anything that Lucas has under control that he can go to. said in New York in our opening comments, everything was working. He had an excellent changeup. He was locating his fastball. His two-seamer was sinking. He was ahead in the count. He was getting funny swings on balls in the dirt.
Giancarlo will see another one. And here it is. Ground ball into the shift. Albies with a backhand play will fire to first in time, and Stanton's retired. No advance of the runner this time. And there's the first out in the second inning. Ball one to Yelich.
Uh-oh, what was that? Tyler threw his hands in the air like step off. But it was too late because Lucas was coming to the plate. And I'm sure distracted him.
So ball two to Yelich, with D. Gordon a big lead at second base, and fouled away. Pickoff play, and Gordon's back safely.
Nice save by Dansby. Timing on it was all good. The throw was in the dirt on a short hop.
Now the 2-1 is in the dirt. Ball three. He's been behind just about everybody tonight, and that's, as you just said, the difference between this start and his start against the Mets.
Just he doesn't have anything to go to right now that he can hit spots with consistently or throw for strikes.
Gordon's going to try to steal third. The pitch, a strike. The throw to third is not in time, and then Gordon overslid the bag, and Rio kept the tag on him. He had it stolen, but he came in too hot.
Yes, he did. And Rio did the right thing, keeping that glove on him. Pop-up slide might have worked for him instead of the straight slide.
So that takes away an RBI chance for Yelich, who faces a full count. Bases are empty. Sims still stretching, and that's downstairs. Ball four. Another walk. His third in an inning and 2/3.
No one's throwing in the pen, right? I don't see anyone.
Nope. So Bohr, the batter, he hit a sac fly his first time up. Got that one over at the knees for an even count. Rockies and Dodgers are delayed in Colorado, according to the scoreboard here. It's supposed to be Clayton Kershaw in that game.
Apparently it's raining champagne.
It's raining hits and base runners against Lucas Sims tonight. Boer bangs a single into right field, and they're at the corners with 2 out. That's 6 hits already for the Marlins tonight.
Well, at least D. Gordon's efforts saved a run at this point. But I give credit to Boer, too, who you think of as just a slugger. And a sacrifice fly tonight, a single through the shift, and he came in with an average of 292. He's doing a whole lot more than just hit homers.
Remember, at the start of the season, the question the Marlins had was, could Boer hit lefties? And he's done a really good job against them.
Held his own
to earn everyday playing time. As Brian Anderson bats, he walked and scored ahead of Dietrich's homer off the foul pole. And he had a home run cut, didn't get it. Strike 1. Line down the left field line. That's going to score a run. Yelich tallies. Here comes Boer to third base. And everybody's safe. It's a double for Anderson.
I'm not sure I know what's taking so long to get somebody up in the pen. I realize we're at the next to last game of the season, and the thoughts of winning and losing sometimes aren't all that important this time of year when you're trying to learn some things about some young players. But Lucas is just getting torn up here.
And now Dietrich will be intentionally walked. And that'll bring up A.J. Ellis with the bases loaded. Braves used Minter, Winkler, and Freeman last night. Jackson and Brothers in game 1, so it's not like the Braves had to go 5-6 deep like Miami did in the first 2 games of this series. And now finally Jackson is beginning to warm up. Ellis singled and scored in the first. 6-0 Miami. That's popped up into the seats. Biggest crowd of this series is here in Miami tonight by a big margin.
They got a lot going on. Got Star Wars night. They gave away floral hats. Marlins baseball cap for the floral bill. And of course Stanton.
And tomorrow I think it's Christian Yelich bobblehead day. So Miami getting a big final homestand push for their attendance drive in 2017. Marlins are averaging slightly over 20,000 fans a game. They've drawn 1,000,006. Missed the inside corner. That's 2 or 3 times now. Lucas thought he had a strike and didn't get it.
Yeah, he thought he had a front door slider that dropped in there that time. Remember, there was that pitch to Adams in the first inning. I'm not sure that one ever had the plate, Chip.
Boy, Ellis is right on top of the plate, isn't he? Wow. 3-2 is strike 3. Ellis flips the bat away. Sims got that call, and that ends the inning. Miami gets a run to, 3 hits, 2 walks, and they leave them loaded in the second. TV. You can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports South and Braves baseball with you wherever you go. It's presented by Honda Generators. It is 6-0 for Odrisamer Despaigne, who goes to work in the 3rd inning with the top of the Atlanta order coming up. Albies, Markakis, and Freddie Freeman. Marlins have scored the last 12 runs in this series. So Ozzie leads off. He popped out to start the game, trying to extend his hitting streak to 5. And that's up and away, ball 1. I would assume the Marlins want Despaigne to do exactly what you suggested he's been doing, and that's not nibble. Popped up foul.
I think that's what we liked last night about Gohara, was once he was given that lead, he just was throwing fastball after fastball down the middle. Here, hit it if you can, and they were having a hard time catching up to it.
That's banged off the pitcher's leg. Despaigne gathers, fires, and Ozzie beat it. So it is a 5-game hitting streak for the Braves second baseman and a positive start to the 3rd inning.
High fastball. Not sure how he missed that.
Nick Markakis stroked the first single of the game. That was in the opening inning. It was between 1st and 2nd. And he almost got hit. Ball 1. 160 hits for Markakis this year. And now an even count to him. double play ball. Gordon flips to short for one, and first in time. 2 out. Rojas with the turn, got Markakis by a step. And Freddie's coming up. He walked his first and only time up. Lined again to the mound. That's 2 of those for Despaigne. 1 off the bat of Freeman, 1 off the bat of Dansby Swanson. He's living a charmed life tonight, and he's got a 6-0 lead. His warm-up tosses as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. That means it's a short night, and I'm sure a disappointing night for Lucas Sims, who wanted to make a final good impression in his last start of the 2017 season. This wasn't meant to be tonight, Joe, and we could see that from the very first couple of hitters.
He just did not have command tonight. It was up, down, all around. Wasn't getting any borderline calls. He wasn't getting any swings at pitches that were borderline, so he's had to pitch it behind in the count, and they were making the best of it. Luke Jackson worked a couple of nights ago. 3rd of an inning, gave up a couple of hits, but no runs.
And he's got Rojas, Despaigne, and D. Gordon coming up. Rojas making a nice run over his final 3 weeks of regular season play, hitting .364 over his last 18 games. He's trying to go into spring training next year with a chance to win the shortstop job for the Marlins. It began the year with Adeiny Echeverria, then shipped him to Tampa Bay. J.T. Riddle took over at short. The kid out of University of Kentucky tore up a shoulder. His season's over. And then Rojas stepped in and done a nice job for him. That's a little low. A ball and 2 strikes.
Echeverria was a terrific defender. J.T. Riddle has a reputation as a great defender. Rojas has played good defense. That's what they need from their shortstop. If their offense stays intact, and you think it won't, but they need the shortstop to catch the ball. Everybody else will take care of the offense.
Marlins committed 73 errors in the first 160 games. As that one's ripped into right center field. Long run Markakis. He'll try to cut it off and will. Rojas is streaking for 2. The throw is on the money, and Dansby got the tag down. What a throw by Markakis, whose momentum carried him away from his throwing arm. And somehow they got Rojas at second base to start the inning.
What a road trip for Nick. He had to give ground on this too. Stop, throw back. Third assist on this road trip. Nice play by Swanson to handle the in-between hop and get the tag down. Well done. 3 assists on the trip.
He had 2 all year.
I need to correct myself. They weren't all on the road trip.
That's a little bleeder up the middle by Despaigne. And Jackson surrendered back-to-back hits. Luckily, he's got 1 out.
Those other 2 assists for Nick came at home, the last home game. So we're saying a week. 3 in a week. Despaigne has his 2nd hit of the year.
So here's Gordon looking for his 200th hit. Every time we put up that 200 hit category for the Marlins, you see the number of really exciting players they've had in this franchise's somewhat star-crossed history. Yeah, they've got a couple of world championships in '97 and 2003, but those teams have never really been able to stay together for a real long time. As that one's a swinging bunt. Flowers is going to go to second, and the Braves get the out, force the pitcher, and that's the 2nd of the inning.
Another good save by Dansby. Tyler had a lot of time with the pitcher running through low, but Dansby dug it out. Flowers pounced on it. Boy, that was a tough one too.
Well, you know your team's having a good night when you're up for the 3rd time and it's the 3rd inning. That's the fate for Giancarlo Stanton, who's 0 for 2. It's Stanton versus Jackson. Who got ahead with a strike. Stanton seeing Luke for the 3rd time. He's 1 for 2. That hit a single. Here comes the 0-2. Runner goes. Pitch in the dirt, and it's going to be stolen base number 60 for D. Gordon. He's now the National League leader. So 1 Marlins to 60, as you suggested.
The thing about Stanton is how he crushes mistakes. The one thing Luke has to guard against is that knuckle curve of his and leaving it up in the zone.
Gordon's single season high is 64, his last year with the Dodgers. 1 ball, 2 strikes for Stanton, 2 outs. And again,
good try there.
2 years ago, that's the pitch he would always swing at. Not anymore.
And be on his heels, spinning out and away from the plate.
Tried it again. Full count. Vicious swing.
And there it was. It actually was just bad enough to not be hittable. Hanging breaking ball that actually was backing up a little bit.
And he struck him out. 94-mile-an-hour fastball ends the inning. No runs, 2 hits, a man left. We go to the 4th, 6-0 Miami.
We head to the 4th inning here at Marlins Park. Luke Jackson just got through a scoreless inning of relief here for the Braves, and he's actually from the Miami area. He went to high school in Fort Lauderdale. He was drafted in 2010, and this was his first time to ever pitch here at home in the Miami area. So he's actually had about 50 people at each game this entire series, and his family and friends finally got to see him pitch professionally here tonight. He told me he has slept at home the last 2 nights. And Chip and Joe, talk about a convenient commute. He said he got his car and everything shipped here already. So after game 162 tomorrow, he has about a 30-minute drive, and he'll be back home for the offseason.
Now that's convenient.
Yeah. And how apropos is it on an evening where we have Star Wars night that we have a feature on a man named Luke?
There you go. Like it.
Tyler Flowers leads off for the Braves, down 6-0 tonight. And this is it's a bittersweet time of year for all of us who have the privilege of covering Major League Baseball. It's obviously a labor of love for us and for our great crew. The sweet part is we get to get home and reacquaint ourselves with our families and do normal things for the next several months. The bitter part is no more baseball for Atlanta after tomorrow afternoon. We will, though, look forward to pitchers and catchers reporting in Orlando in mid-February, and our spring training telecasts in mid to late March, and then opening day on March 29th at SunTrust Park. Where as of now, I'm guessing it'll be Julio Teheran and Aaron Nola squaring off in the first game of a 2018 schedule that promises to have a lot of excitement as well.
You've been talking about spring training a lot, and you're right. It should be a very interesting month. See who's here, who's not. People that maybe nobody was thinking about all of a sudden are vital parts. And guys making their way to the big leagues from the minor leagues that impress.
Flowers down on strikes, 2 of those for Despaigne. Of course, once our regular season ends, the work for John Coppola is only just beginning starting Monday. Braves obviously have a very important decision to make. Will Brian Snitker return as the Braves manager? Will there be any other changes either to the staff or the front office? A lot of those moves will of course be delayed by or influenced by, as far as their timing is concerned, by the playoff schedule. Baseball likes to keep those things kind of quiet until after the World Series is completed, because they don't want those news items interrupting the coverage of postseason play. Late Adams lines 1 to third, and a great diving catch by Anderson. Braves are hitting a lot of comebackers. 3 of them to the mound. This one to the third baseman on a hot shot.
I thought this was already by him. And just about was. Great catch. Don't have to get anything started when they're making plays like that on you.
And a strike to Rio, who tapped back to the mound. That's taken downstairs, even count. For the Braves, it really has been in so many ways a tale of 2 seasons. They got to 45 and 45. They had to work really hard to get to that 500 mark, and once they did, well, things, let's just say, haven't gone according to plan. Braves are 26 and 44 over their last 70 games.
They really began to pile up.
Yeah.
The losses. Talked about this team a lot, though, even in the throes of a rotten second half. They didn't phone it in. And all those rallies from the 7th inning on and the runs they scored kind of proved their mettle, that they were not giving up, they were not phoning it in, and they were willing to compete.
Yep, 20 last at bat wins, 35 comeback wins for the Braves this year. As that one's cut on and missed, Ruiz is down on strikes. The Braves are retired in order in the 4th inning and are down 6 in Game 3 in Miami.
Baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet and the most Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home. And by Delta Airlines.
Home fourth coming up. Yelich, Bohr, and Brian Anderson for the Marlins on Star Wars night. The Marlins TV booth has been invaded off to our left. As Luke Jackson's back to work for the Braves, facing Yelich, who's walked twice and scored twice. Todd Hollandsworth and Rich Walls with Darth Vader and the Stormtroopers. Keeping them safe here in Game 3.
Todd Hollandsworth had a lightsaber of his own working when he was National League Rookie of the Year. What was that, 37 years ago?
Just about. Well, the Dodgers have, what, 19 Rookies of the Year in a row?
Yeah, seemed like it.
As this one's hit to the right side, Ozzy's got it. And Yelich will be the first out. See if Jackson can restore some order and the Braves can get something going in the middle 3 innings tonight. Star Wars night has become a wildly popular event all around the major leagues, especially in concert with the bobblehead nights. The Braves had the R.A. Dickey Star Wars bobblehead night earlier at SunTrust this year. So here's Bohr. He's singled and he's got a sac fly and an RBI. And that's up and away, ball 1. Cubs were winners today. They shut out Cincinnati 9-0 at Wrigley Field. Padres beat the Giants 3-2. Matt Cain threw his last major league pitch tonight, or today I should say. He's going to retire from San Francisco after a terrific career during their run of 3 World Championships.
John Lester's been trying to get back on track after a rough August. He started that game for the Cubs today. 5 innings of 4-hit shutout ball, no walks, 7 strikeouts.
That was my question. How did he do against the lefties that the Reds had in their lineup? You face the Reds and don't walk anybody on a team that has Joey Votto. That's a pretty good indicator. He must have had good stuff.
Votto 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
Really?
Yeah.
That's certainly much needed good news for the Cubs, who apparently won't have Jake Arrieta available to start until at least Game 3 against Washington. That was announced by Joe Madden yesterday or the day before. Arrieta coming back from a hamstring issue. Two and 2 for Bohr, and taken low. Speaking of the Cubs, Bohr was originally a Cubs farmhand, but was blocked by Anthony Rizzo.
So without Arrieta to start in Washington, who's your pick to go the first game for the Cubs? Would it be Lester
or Quintana?
Yeah, both lefties.
Again to first. Freeman gave ground. He'll lead Jackson to the bag. 2 outs. Fans in Washington are wondering who's going to start Game 1. There are some who think that Steven Strasburg is right now pitching a little better than Max Scherzer. And if that's the case, that's a very encouraging sign for the Nationals. As good as Max Scherzer's been.
I wouldn't lose any sleep over either one of them starting, you know.
Yeah, right.
Flip a coin.
And we're told, Gretchen just said to me, Max Scherzer had to leave the game tonight because of injury for Washington. He's had leg problems. He's had neck problems. And if he's out, that's a big problem. Anderson 1 ball 1 strike. He's got a walk, a double, an RBI, and a run already tonight. Fly ball deep right. Markakis on the run. That ball is off the fence. Anderson will stop at second. That ball hit right on top of the padding, the advertising signage padding in front of the Miami bullpen.
Would have been his first big league homer, and he came that close to it on a breaking ball that he stayed back nicely on.
I think Dansby saying, hey, warning track power. As he doubles with 2 outs, Dietrich will be walked
again.
And Ellis will come up for his 3rd at bat in this 4th inning. Well, every team has to play the 162. Every manager wants to set his rotation, wants to get everybody enough at bats to stay sharp and fresh. The one thing managers fear the most this time of year, final weekend, is somebody getting hurt. And we're hearing reports that some believe that Scherzer tweaked a hamstring tonight. Same injury that's been bothering Jake Arrieta. How severely, we don't know, but that is big news if Scherzer's injury is of any severity. Fly ball center. Adams turned the wrong way but got there in time, and that will retire Miami in the 4th. 6-0 Fish in Game 3. They ambush Lucas Sims for 6 runs in the first 2 innings, and they haven't looked back. Adrisamer Despaigne has scattered just a handful of hits to the Braves, 3 singles as a matter of fact. He struck out 3 through 4, and he's got the bottom part of the order coming up in inning number 5 tonight. Braves try to snap a 5-game losing streak, and as Joe suggested, the offense has really been locked down. Braves have scored just 12 runs during the losing streak, and they've been outscored now 33-12, including tonight's 6 posted by Miami. Dansby lined out to the pitcher his first time up. Mentioned some of the bad luck he's dealt with at the plate. There's a statistic called batting average balls in play, BABIP. Dansby's batting average when he doesn't strike out is .291, as this one's hit towards center and playable for Yelich. That's slightly below the National League average of .300, but a lot of that tough luck for Dansby came in the early weeks of the season before the rest of the league got on its collective footing. When he was hitting line drives right at people and just couldn't buy a hit. But he's 0 for 2 tonight. And Jace Peterson's the hitter. He has the second of the 2 Atlanta hits. A strike.
It's hard to quantify what's hitting in tough luck and what's not, but I'll wager that Dansby's hit more line drive outs than anybody and base it on that.
Jace Peterson continues his good work this month. And he'll try to get aboard in front of Micah Johnson, who's grabbed a bat. And he'll replace Luke Jackson. In a couple of innings. 3 hits, no runs. Bohr, a nice play to his right. Race to the bag, and Despaigne wins it. That's big man who's pretty nimble on that hot shot. And he robs Peterson of a hit. Marlins defense tonight's been excellent.
Unbelievably good. Nice backhanded stab.
So Johnson was out. Now Jackson's going to go ahead and hit. We'll see if he continues on the mound here. He serves that one toward Gordon at second, who nearly fell over as he made the play. And it's 3 up, 3 down in the Atlanta 5th inning.
Bottom of the 5th inning here in Miami, and there are so many unique features here at Marlins Park, but one of them is the bobblehead museum up there on the main concourse. In that bobblehead museum, they have over 700 bobbleheads. All 30 major league teams are represented, and a bunch are signed as well. Now, they actually did have a feature where you could type a name into a computer. It would show you exactly where that bobblehead is, but the computer actually died during the hurricane, so that feature is not available right now. But they have these 2 moving plates at the bottom, so they all bobble in unison. Now, Chip, I did check to see if I could find any from YouTube, but I did see Harry. Saw him up there.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, they don't have a. I don't think they have my dad's bobblehead.
I can tell you this, Kelsey. Come Monday, Chip and our heads will be bobbing a lot.
Yes, yes. I was going to ask Kelsey if she didn't provide the answer on her terrific report as to how they keep the bobbleheads bobbling all the time.
Yeah, so say there's something,
2 plates or something at the bottom that just gently shake. Pretty cool. So Luke Jackson will continue. He'll try to buy the Braves another inning tonight. He's got the 8, 9, and 1 hitters scheduled for Miami.
I think Luke has done his best work this year in long relief in multi-innings. Remember when he first got called up, he was thrust in that role for a couple of days over a 4-day period in Atlanta and did a great job.
The 1-2 pitch. One of Luke's highlights this year was an excellent outing against the Cardinals back in mid-August. As this one's banged through the left side for a hit. A 3-for-3 night for Rojas, who, as we told you, has been red hot. August 11th at St. Louis, Luke Jackson became the first Braves reliever to pick up 6 strikeouts since Christian Martinez in July of 2011. And the first to do so in 2 1/3 innings or fewer since Mike Malecki did that against the Dodgers in 1996.
That's incredible. When Mike Malecki had a good curveball.
And Christian Martinez, part of the interesting battery when the Braves had Bethancourt behind the plate. 1 ball, no strikes for Despaigne, instead to first. Popped up and right to Freeman. So Despaigne is despondent as he can't get the bunt down. He pops out, 1 away, 1 aboard, and back to the top, D. Gordon. Miami 11 hits already tonight, leading 6-0. The pitch is outside. That'll find the seats left side. There are only 3 guys in the National League that have 40 or more stolen bases. D. Gordon with 60, Billy Hamilton 59, and Trey Turner with 45. Remember, Turner missed about 6 weeks with a broken wrist as well.
Right.
Everybody else 25 or less, headlined by Tommy Pham of the Cardinals. And we talk a lot about the 3 outcome kind of games we're seeing: walk, strikeout, homer. I really would love to see the game revert back to more guys like D. Gordon who put the ball in play and can run, and the pressure they put on a defense with their ability to steal a bag or 2. 2 balls and a strike. With all due respect to his 60 steals, back in the old days, that was a good half season's work for guys like Vince Coleman and Willie McGee and Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, I think guys like D are an asset. I don't want a team full of them, but I certainly think he's an asset and a big part of their offense.
Line drive into right field. There's a base hit for Gordon, number 200 for the year. No doubt about it, hot shot into right field. So 60 stolen bases, 200 hits for D. Gordon. What a year. And he sets the table again for Giancarlo Stanton, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Jackson struck him out in their first meeting in the third. Lifted our way and out of play for a strike.
He loves that first pitch. With runners on base, he loves jumping on it.
A hard hit ball to right field. That's in for a hit. Here comes Rojas around third. He's going to score. The throw to third, not in time. Stanton moves to second and is thrown out. It's an RBI single for Stanton, his 131st run batted in. He's thrown out 9-5 to 6, I believe.
Yeah, there'll be another assist for Nick Markakis. And it looked like Stanton was going to beat the relay back to third, but he was off the bag.
And my apologies, it was Ozzie Albies who handled the throw, so it's 9-5-4 to get Stanton. And Brian Snitker's going to go get Luke Jackson. Luke went 2 2/3 innings, gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. Miami with 13 hits, and they're not through in the fifth. See when Ian last worked on the 27th in New York. In fact, Ian's only had 2 outings for Atlanta since September 14th. So he should be very well rested. Bulls retired 32 of 50 first batters. 8 of 31 inherited runners have scored, and he inherits D. Gordon at third base, left there by Luke Jackson. So Christian Yelich will hit again. He's up for the 4th time. It's the 5th inning. Yelich this year hitting .252 against left-handed pitching. Seems a little low for him.
Yeah. The thing that people with the Marlins have told us is that he has not had one hot streak all year. And he usually has 2 or 3 where nobody can get him out. You know, player of the week type stuff, player of the month.
1 ball, 1 strike. And a bouncing ball up the middle. As sure as the sun rises in the east, Yelich has another RBI hit against the Braves. That brings home D. Gordon. And Miami is pouring it on. It's 8-0. And so close the book on Jackson. He gives up 2 runs.
81 RBIs for Yelich.
Bohr's 1 for 2. He hit a sac fly in the first. Marlins season high for hits in a 9-inning game this year is 22. They did that July 26th out in Texas. They have 14 hits tonight, and they've got 3 more innings at least to swing. Yeah, that July 26th game was a doozy. They scored 22 runs with those 22 hits against the Rangers.
Well, like you said, we're halfway.
Yeah. They hit 8 doubles in that game. They had 14 extra base hits in that game.
Goodness. Saw where the Rangers are about to break ground on their new stadium.
A retractable dome, which I believe is going to be located right next door to their current ballpark, which used to be the ballpark in Arlington. I think it's Globe Life Stadium. So we'll have the Jerry Dome, the Cowboys facility, right down the street. That'll be nice for the fans in Texas. It's a beautiful part of the country, great baseball area. The boys hit hot. So they'll be a lot more comfortable, maybe draw a few more fans as a result. Runner goes, pitch bounced to the right side into the shift. Ozzy's got it. Is flipped to first in time, and Miami's done in the 5th. They add 2 more runs and lead 8-0 in what's now an official game in Miami.
And Justin Bohr has developed a new routine. Now, you saw him looking around there. Every inning after he warms up the infield, he targets a fan and one of the upper decks or further away, and he throws the ball as hard and as far as he can. And I asked him what started that. He said, I'm just trying to show the people in some upper decks some love.
Ozzy's trying to show some love too as he hits a screaming line drive foul down the right field line.
You know, the people in the upper deck are people too, you know.
Who was it that threw a ball out of a stadium? They got mad one time. This was hit to a short, tricky hop. Long throw and a nice play by Rojas to get Albies for the first out. Can't remember who that was. They got angry.
I'm pretty sure that I saw Votto do it this year in Chicago. They're like offering it to Fan, or Fan was on him.
Maybe that's who I'm thinking of.
He just reared back and launched it over the roof.
You can imagine somebody walking down the street with a cup of coffee and all of a sudden a baseball out of nowhere just bounces in front of them or worse. Another good defensive play by Miami to start the Braves' sixth. $25,264 the paid attendance in Miami tonight. They got to clap a lot in the very first 2 innings. They scored 6 runs, 5 of those in the first against Lucas Sims, who gave up 7 hits in only 2 innings tonight.
Spanya's put together a couple of good starts back to back too. He beat Colorado at Coors Field his last time out, and he went 6 innings and only gave up 2 runs and did not walk anybody. He's only walked 1 tonight, and that was Freeman in the first.
Well, he knows the deal for the Marlins. They are going to be looking high and low for pitching. And he might be a very inexpensive option for them in 2018. As we mentioned, he's out of Havana, Cuba. He's 29 years old. I would think this would be a great place for someone from Cuba to try to make his way in the major leagues. Started the year with the Orioles organization. Hurt his oblique muscle in spring training and had to fight his way back ever since. Baltimore let him go on September 5th. When he cleared waivers, Miami signed him September 15th. And strike 3. Markakis is caught looking, and he didn't like that call from Mark Rippiger. 2 outs.
That looked a little low. A.J. Ellis had to raise his glove up to try to make it look better.
A strike to Freeman. Spanier doing what you ought to do with an 8-run lead. Pound the zone. Fouled away. Minnesota's going to the playoffs. They're going to face the Yankees. They're playing the Tigers tonight in the final days of Brad Ausmus's managerial tenure. He's having some fun tonight. Austin Romine's going to play all 9 positions for Detroit.
That's fun.
Detroit's going to embark on a rebuilding beginning next year. They're 63-97 this year. And last place. Freddie bounces that one foul. I know you've pitched in the major leagues. You've played the outfield. You've played first. Did you ever get a chance to play anyplace else? And did you want to?
Yeah, I would have loved to have played other spots, but being left-handed,
yeah,
made it a little tough. That's why I was always a little bitter at Mr. Doubleday. You know, if he had run to his left to try to reach base instead of to his right. And that got to have been a heck of a shortstop.
Yes, sir. That knocked the mask off of Ellis, who almost sat down. They'll clear the cobwebs, take a walk, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Think how different that one little move would have made for us lefties.
Yes, sir. Well, Don Mattingly was excellent first baseman. He also got to play third base. He started a few games at third base, in fact, for the Yankees. Mike Squires was also a left-hand guy that play over there. I can't remember who the last
Squires caught some too.
Catcher, yeah, but was he the last left-handed catcher?
Might have been.
2-2 pitch. And Freddie to right. Stanton froze for a moment, but he recovers. And that's the inning. Let's see. 11 straight Braves have been retired. Carbon copy of last night, except for the score. Up again in the bottom of the 6th inning. Ian Kroll will work his first full inning. We have one more game tomorrow. Then the postseason action gets underway very quickly. Want to wish you, Joe, and Brian Anderson, Dennis Eckersley, a lot of luck as you embark on your playoff series in Los Angeles. And there are the matchups.
Thank you. Yeah, the American League wild card is Tuesday. National League wild card is Wednesday. AL will start their division play on Thursday. National League will start their division play on Friday.
Speaking of Brian Anderson, here he is, and swings and misses, strike 1. I think the wild card game in the National League is going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be some kind of game. 2 high-powered offenses, hitter-friendly parks. As Anderson drives this one deep toward left. Jace on the run, still going back to the track. He's got it. And Anderson denied a homer again. But he's retired for the first time, and that's how the home 6th starts, 1 away.
Well, by clinching today, the Rockies don't have to worry about having to use their #1 guy, John Gray, on Sunday to get in, or Monday on a play-in game.
Right.
They can set up their rotation the way they want. So that evens the playing field a little bit, since Arizona clinched some time ago. You have to assume that Arizona will go with Greinke.
And that leads me to my question for you. Greinke's been down this road before. He's a pro's pro. He's had a great year, but his last 2 starts have not been at all Zach Greinke-like.
No, and keep in mind that 3 teams out of the National League West have advanced to the postseason. They've played one another 19 times. There are no secrets. We talked about that last night. They know each other real well. I mean, they probably didn't even have to send scouts out, you know, to watch, because they know each other so well, know their strengths and weaknesses. So that's why I think it's a real flip of the coin, especially in the wild card between the D-backs and the Rockies. It could go either way. They know each other too well.
Yeah, there's really no favorite.
No.
It would not surprise anybody with either outcome. If it is Arizona, that's a wonderful accomplishment for Torey Lovullo and his staff after a rough year last year for the Diamondbacks, and for Bud Black in his first year in Colorado to get into the wild card game with an extremely young pitching staff, and one that had its bit of ups and downs this year, is also excellent work. 2 excellent offenses, MVP candidates on both teams in Goldschmidt and Arenado, and Charlie Blackmon too for the Rockies. That will be must-see TV from the National League standpoint. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Dietrich, who didn't mean to, and fouls it away. Over the American League side, I say this with tongue-in-cheek, you're not American if you're not rooting for Minnesota in that first-round matchup against the Yankees. The ultimate big market against the ultimate small market. And Irvin Santana, the former Brave, who's had a remarkable year for the Twins, will get the ball in the winner go home game.
Who knows? Maybe they'll start Bartolo Colon.
That would shock a lot of people.
Yeah, it would. I just had Gretchen look it up for me. In the National League, Colorado at Arizona this year was 5-5, and they were 10-9 against, or excuse me, 5-4 at LA.
So
Rockies.
They weren't bothered by Dodger Stadium.
Not intimidated. Played well.
Swing and a miss by Dietrich on a ball in the dirt. Tyler has to hustle to pick up that loose ball, and he got there. Let's remember too, though, and I don't know the answer to this, maybe Gretchen can find it, how many of those games took place while Kershaw was on the disabled list?
Now, there is something to that, certainly. And Arizona capitalized on that stretch where the Dodgers were just the worst team in baseball. Lost, 11 or 12 in a row or something, 17 out of 18. Arizona at LA is 5-5 for the year, but they won the season series 11-8.
Well, it'll be loud inside the confines of Chase Field in Phoenix, especially if the roof stays on. Those fans roaring and yelling, it'll be an echo chamber. That'll be fun to watch. And the winner of that game will have a date with the Dodgers. Twins and Yankees will play in the American League side. The winner of that game will match up with Cleveland, as Ellis just got hit by a pitch. Cleveland, with 101 wins, has clinched home field through the American League part of the playoffs, with Houston losing tonight. Even if Houston wins 101 games and finishes tied with the Indians, Cleveland has the tiebreaker head-to-head. And as great a year as Cleveland had last year, their team this year, Joe, might be better.
Well, I think it is. Encarnacion.
Lindor had a 30-plus homer season as their shortstop. Their pitching staff has been ridiculously good, anchored by Corey Kluber. And if the Cubs were able to end their 100-year-plus streak without a world championship, maybe it's time for Cleveland to end their long drought.
I thought Cleveland had ended theirs last year.
No balls, 1 strike. Popped up, and Adams comes charging in. He's still coming. He can't get there. The ball drops in between Albies and Markakis, and everybody's safe. Lane kept running and running and running and just never seemed to be able to get there. And when he did, it was an awkward lunge at that pop-up by Rojas, who stands at second base with 2 outs.
His 4th hit of the night. He now has a single, a double, and a triple. The only guy that really had a chance on this was Ozzie. If he'd kicked it up a little higher in the air, Lane might have had one of his teammates catch it.
So 2nd and 3rd for Despaigne, who has a single tonight. He's up 8-0. 15th Miami hit. Nothing in 2. And that takes care of Despaigne and the Marlins in the 6th inning. Big night for Miguel Rojas. He's got 4 of Miami's 15 hits. And we go to the 7th. Through 6 in Game 3. Game 161 of the 2017 season. JT Realmuto having some fun with a couple of kids behind the Miami dugout.
Torture.
Well, Despaign's had the Braves hitters playing at the end of a string tonight, hadn't he?
Yeah.
Just 3 hits. He's retired 11 straight. And Tyler Flowers, the batter. And he's had all of them working. Strike 1. Popped up into shallow left. Dietrich is under it, and he's got it. 12 up, 12 down to start the 7th inning. Here's Lane Adams. Lane's got a 4-game hit streak on the line tonight. And he's 0 for 2. Gretchen looked this up for us. Arizona faced the Dodgers 6 games without Clayton Kershaw available. They went 4-2. Colorado did not face them at all without Clayton Kershaw being active.
Well, he's arguably the best pitcher in baseball. certainly among left-handers. But his postseason record does not measure up to the same numbers he puts up in the regular season.
Now, how does that happen?
I think he's 4-6.
Up with a very un-Kershaw-like ERA. I don't know if that's just bad luck. No, he's given up some home runs. He gave up a home run to Matt Adams with the Cardinals a couple of years ago. There was a big home run in postseason play.
4-7 with a 4.55.
Yeah, that's not Clayton Kershaw.
No, but it's like anything else. Things get ramped up. It's not a regular season game. It is it's an opponent that has a lineup that more often than not is going to be stacked and good, and in this case this year, teams that have seen him a lot.
And I love repeating your point that you've made a lot, as Dietrich's going to have to chase this one down. That's over his head and up against the fence. Lane Adams on his way to second. He'll stop there with a 5-game hitting streak. That's the first Atlanta hit since the 3rd inning. A ringing double for Lane Adams. You've said it a million times. A walk is a rally. A base runner of any kind is a rally in postseason play. Maybe the Braves will have a 7th inning rally thanks to Adams' 1-out double.
Yeah, that was a good swing. Pretty good fastball.
Rio Ruiz is the hitter. He's 0 for 2. And he shoots this one into shallow right. Stanton's coming on. Can't get there. The ball's behind him. And everybody's safe. They're at 1st and 3rd on a blooper. So 5 hits for Atlanta.
Leaving a couple of pitches up. The fastball, then the slider. Lane had to wait and make sure that Stanton wasn't going to catch that. That's why he only advanced to 3rd.
Braves have scored 268 runs from the 7th inning or later this year. They need 8 runs just to tie tonight. Dansby had a good cut, fouled it straight back.
Another pitch up.
Colorado is winning tonight. They're underway in Denver. 3-1, 3rd inning.
And I believe that's Kershaw, unless the Dodgers pulled him.
Yeah, Kershaw is starting tonight. See how long Kershaw remains in the game. Line drive left field by Dansby. That's going to get down for a run scoring hit. The Braves have 3 in a row in the 7th inning, and they're on the board. 50 RBIs for Swanson. That's a nice round number for him.
Sure is. That's nice.
And Adams comes across. The Braves are down 7.
Belt high, jumped all over it. Clayton Kershaw, 2 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs.
Now it's interesting to me that with LA so far in front that they'd even bother to pitch Kershaw in a game against an opponent they might face. Why would you tip your hand there other than he's in rotation? And
you have no choice if you're trying to get him tuned up and ready to go. They don't have a game Monday against somebody else.
True.
Carlos Gonzalez, by the way, homered off of him.
1-0 pitch, and Jace skipped the rope. The other part of it is, I would assume if they're in a 5-game series and that gets to game 4, do you pitch Kershaw in Denver, or do you hold him back in LA? So see how far that one goes with Kershaw on the mound. At the knees, a strike for Jace Peterson. 2-1.
Left-handed hitter Gonzalez homered. Lucroy doubled in a run, and then another left-handed hitter, Charlie Blackmon, drove him in.
Another RBI for Blackmon. Wow. 100 plus for a leadoff man. New record. Fouled away, a strike.
Good cut.
It's 2-2.
I remember the year that the Cardinals, I believe it was when the Cardinals won the World Championship, and Tommy Herr drove in 100 runs and hit like 6 homers, 7 homers, something like that.
Yeah, he had Coleman and McGee on in front of him all the time, and then Jack Clark behind him.
Yeah, he wasn't a leadoff hitter. He usually hit second or third, I think, but yeah, he had those speedsters on in front of him.
Full count pitch. Dansby Swanson not being held at first. Ruiz at second. Runners hold, and it's a swing and a miss. 5th strikeout for Despaigne. 2 outs. And now Matt Adams is coming up. Ian Kroll pitched an inning and a third. Gave up 2 hits. Struck out 2. Hit a batter. And didn't give up a run. Let's not forget the great contributions Matt Adams made for the Braves this year when Freddie Freeman broke his wrist after being hit by the Toronto Blue Jays. Braves went out and got Adams for a song. He's playing in his 100th game as a Brave. 19 homers, 57 driven in. And that 19 home runs ties him with Fred McGriff for the most homers by a Brave acquired in season in a single year.
It's a shame that he strained that hamstring. He would have gotten a lot of at bats here in the last 2 or 3 weeks, playing some left field. And like Tyler Flowers, I give Matt a lot of credit. All the hard work he put in the offseason to get himself in shape. He's kept it off.
Yoga and Pilates allowed Matt to shed about 30 pounds. The 2-2 pitch. Smoked into right field. It's a base hit. Here comes Ruiz around third. Stanton will fire it back to the middle of the infield. It's a pinch hit RBI single for Matt Adams. His 58th RBI with the Braves. And that's about all he can do is swing hard because his hamstring is still a big problem.
And just keeps piling on the pinch hit numbers, not only for himself but for the team. His 13th RBI as a pinch hitter. That takes over the team lead. He was tied with Lane Adams for that number. Ender will be the pinch runner.
So the Braves, how many times have we said it? Putting something together in the late innings. Now have Ozzie Albies up there. And a breaking ball to strike. Well, a long one here would make it an 8-5 game.
And the 7th inning is when the Marlins made their big move last night. Down 5-2. They scored 4 runs.
Little tapper hit toward first. That's going to skip foul in front of the bag. And that's a break for Atlanta. Runners retreat to first and second. Swanson the lead runner. Inciarte will be back at first in the count 0-2. Fly ball right center. Yelich, though, with those long legs, tracks it down, and that's the inning. 7 come to the plate, 2 score. Stretch time in Miami. It's 8-2 Marlins. And you see Jim Johnson will be the 4th Atlanta pitcher to work tonight. Ian Kroll an inning and a third of 2 hits scoreless relief. And Johnson looks to face Ichiro Suzuki, who's 1 pinch hit away from tying a major league pinch hit record for a single season.
Game number 60 for Jim. He worked on this road trip, and he gave up 4 runs, and they were all unearned at New York on the 27th.
So Suzuki in the 7th, bats for D. Gordon, and the first pitch from Johnson missed outside, ball 1. What a night for D. Gordon. 3 hits, 2 steals, 2 runs, giving him 60 stolen bases and 200 hits on the next to last day of the year. And a slapper hit towards short. Dansby's got it, and his throw gets Suzuki 1 out. Ichiro had an interesting quote today. Marlins have an option on his services for next season, and he said, yeah, I want to come back. In fact, Ichiro said, I want to continue to play until I'm 50 if I can. I wouldn't bet against him. But whether or not his $3 million contract is something the Marlins are willing to pay next year remains to be seen with the new ownership group. As Giancarlo Stanton is the hitter. Stanton has an RBI tonight. was tied up on that pitch. 1-1. Hammered down the line and foul. Of course, the discussion about what the Marlins will do going forward centers around their ability to afford Stanton. He's got a full no-trade clause. He's got the $300 million contract. John Heyman in FanRag today interviewed Stanton about his situation, and he said, "I don't want to rebuild. I've lost for 7 years." 1-2 pitch. Struck him out looking, and Jim Johnson carved him up. 2 outs.
Yeah, he's just 1 for 9 now against Jim Johnson. Good fastball.
I like it when star players say stuff like that. It's been a long slog here for Miami. We know all about that. Some of that's because Stanton's been hurt. Not necessarily his fault, but it's a fact. And so I think it's going to be fascinating to see what new ownership does. Not just with Stanton, but with Yelich, Ozuna, this entire Miami organization. As Yelich bats with 2 outs. He walked his first 2 times up, scored 2 runs, and an RBI in the 5th. Gives him 81 for the year. Ball 2. Now the 3-1. Good cut. Yelich fouled it back.
He's got a lot of people, not just in uniform, but not in uniform in the front office for this organization, wondering what their future holds here. Scouts, analysts. Goodness knows there's a lot of analysts this year.
Swing and a miss. Takes care of Yelich and Jim Johnson. A clean, crisp 3 up, 3 down, home 7th. It's 8-2 Miami. Let's send it back to our Atlanta studios. too. It would be a really bad loss for Washington if they lose Max Scherzer, but let's not forget they've got Strasburg, they've got Gio Gonzalez, and they've got Tanner Roark, who, if he pitches against the Cubs like he does against the Braves, that's pretty formidable 1, 2, 3, but clearly not as good as without Max Scherzer.
No, that would be a huge blow to them physically and to their psyche about losing their ace. Let's hope that's not the case. Maybe they were trying to deke somebody.
Changes you saw for Miami. Ichiro's in left, Dietrich's at second, Nick Markakis the hitter against Chris O'Grady. We saw him last night. In fact, we saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Marlins relievers last night. And that's out of play left side. We're in the 8th. 8-2 Miami. Back to the mound. O'Grady.
Skied for that, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Fastball, cutter, slider, a lot of cutters, and a changeup. Fastball in the upper 80s. I don't get to say that very often. Guy throws in the upper 80s.
It's a miracle he's here.
How did he slip through?
Freddie didn't get the first one. Strike one. Braves offense is kind of limping to the finish line. Another ground ball, this one to Dietrich, and he'll shot put it to first. 2 outs. And Tyler Flowers 0 for 3, the final 8th inning home. Wrap up the regular season tomorrow. Fried and Urania, a league-wide 3:10 Eastern Time start. All the games will start at the same time to erase any competitive advantage the teams playing out west would have, knowing the results of what's going on in the Eastern Time zone. Kind of like that rule.
And for the first time in a long time, not needed.
Yeah, everything's settled. Well, I'll be up and ready at 8:30 if they want to start.
Okay.
Game 162. The pitch cut on and missed. 1-1 the count. Driven down the left field line. Ichiro will chase that into the corner. And Tyler Flowers on his way to second. His 16th double of the year. And the 8th Braves hit. Lane Adams has a double and a run scored, extending his season-ending hit streak to 5 consecutive games. Right off his thumbs and toward the Braves dugout. Foul, a strike. Nothing in 2.
Shock to their system to see something that's not being run up there 94, 95.
Despaigne pitched a good ball game tonight. 2 runs, 7 hits, 7 innings. He's in line to win his second game. And now Lane awaits a 1-2 pitch. And he cut right through it. That's the inning. No runs, a hit, a man left. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Whistler will come on and pitch. He's got Bohr, Anderson, and Dietrich scheduled for the Marlins.
20th game for him. High ERA. This is a season he'll just can't wait to put in his rearview mirror. His last outing against the Mets a few days ago, a good one, an inning, no hits or runs, walked a couple but struck out a batter. Good kid, great to be around. He's just had a real rough season.
So he'll try to finish on a positive note and have a good inning tonight. And Bohr will stand in his way. Justin 1 for 3 tonight with a single and a sac fly. There's a good start. A called strike at the knees. That's pulled to first. Freddie handled that one. That was a hot smash. But Bohr's retired, one away. Here's Anderson. He's had another good night. 2 doubles, an RBI, a walk, and a run scored. Still looking for that elusive first big league homer. He's hit the ball hard 3 times, though.
He sure has. Can't believe that one didn't go out to right center. Out of Deer Creek High School in suburban Oklahoma City.
One ball, no strikes. Line into left field. It's a 3-hit game for Anderson.
Well, that'll start making his average look real good in the offseason. Right. Go back and look at it anytime he wants.
Let's see. Anderson now 7 for 22 against the Braves. He's got company in that regard. A lot of these Marlins had good luck against Atlanta, including Dietrich, who hit a 3-run homer off the foul pole in the first inning. This one a mile-high pop. Tyler Flowers near the fish tank won't have a play. And it's into the seats, a strike.
Boy, that almost made it to the rafters. You look up in the ceiling of this place and it makes you wish you'd had the rivet concession.
0-1 count. And pulled foul at first. I would imagine this is not an easy place to catch a fly ball in. Field's pretty well lit, but that roof looks to be 2 or 3 different colors of slate gray.
Yeah, but at least it's dark. You know, unlike the roof at the old Kingdom, which was white or kind of light gray, it was not fun.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out in the 8th. And Dietrich gets hit by a pitch.
He gets hit a lot too.
Yeah. $18 times this year.
Wanted a high target, and unfortunately for Dietrich, it missed his elbow guard, got him right on the back of the tricep.
Dietrich now the all-time leader in hit by pitches for the Marlins. That's the 72nd. That's 21 ahead of Alex Gonzalez. And good for Derek. He's done that in 1,800 fewer plate appearances.
Oh.
So as someone once said, you gotta want to hurt.
Dietrich, so
Dietrich does. And Whistler again, 2 on with 1 out. And A.J. Ellis hit by a pitch his last time up, takes a strike. Final day of September. We turn the calendar to October tomorrow.
A.J. Ellis has been playing a long time. I believe signed a 1-year deal to come here for this season to back up Real Muto.
Slowly hit. Another infield try. The Marlins are racking those up at an alarming rate. And Freddie Freeman, in exasperation, just flipped his hand skyward as if to say, are you kidding me? Another infield hit. Now the bases are loaded.
And my point about Ellis is, who knows, that may have been his last at bat in the big leagues. You never know. And it's a base hit. At least that's the way it'll show up in the box score.
By my count, that's 8 infield hits for Miami in this series.
Looked like Freddie was saying something about the grass too. They're going to have to replace the grass. You guys are wearing it out there in front of home plate.
Well, Rojas 4 for 4. He's got the bases loaded in an 8-2 game.
And needs a homer for the cycle.
tried for it and skies this one a mile high into shallow left. And no advance by the Marlins. Rojas's perfect night comes to a close on a high fly ball to left. 2 outs. And Tyler Moore grabs a bat. Moore's done a nice job in a pinch for Miami. 6 home runs overall this year and a .222 average. Second to Ichiro on their club in pinch hit appearances.
The Braves had him last year at Gwinnett. But in terms of the Braves bench and the concerns about it at the beginning of the year in terms of what the guys did as a group off the bench swinging the bats, can't question that. They were all really good.
Definitely a highlight this year. Moore waits and grounds to the left side and through. That's going to score 1 run. Dietrich stumbled around the third base bag.
Marlins are wondering if there was some interference here by Rio Ruiz, who was coming in to be the
and apparently there was. I noticed him stumbling around the third base bag, couldn't figure out why, and Dietrich, talking to Tom Hallion, politicked and gets to the plate, and that's a 2 RBI single for Tyler Moore off the bench.
Ruiz went to his left, and then Tom's pointing at him immediately. I don't think they brushed each other, but it looked like Dietrich had to change directions.
So Ichiro with 2 on, 2 out, 2 more in. It's 10-2 Miami.
You know what the fans are rumbling about right now? They want him to get on base.
If he can get on, then Giancarlo Stanton would get another crack here in the 8th. Ball 2. That's to second, and that's the inning. Miami gets 2 more runs on 3 hits and a hit batsman. We go to the 9th.
presented by authority of the Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
Last chance for Atlanta. We go to the 9th inning. Brian Ellington is on with an 8-run lead for Miami. He will face Ruiz, Swanson, and Jace Peterson.
This guy can air it out. He can hit triple digits despite looking at his numbers there. 759. Big arm, slider. A lot of walks. So at some point they're hoping he can figure out that backing off a little bit might give him a little better command and make him more effective. Kershaw, by the way, out after 4 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs.
Tyler Moore takes over in left. As the Braves are down to their last 3 outs. First pitch swing by Rio at a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Strike 1. Fans chanting for Ichiro as he stands out in right with Moore in left. And that's off the plate, ball 2. Now it's even. Max Fried will wrap up his 2017 season tomorrow afternoon for the Braves. Always exciting to see Max pitch. He'll hook up with Jose Urena, who's turned out to be quite a find for Miami. To second and to first. There's the first out of the 9th inning.
Yeah, 14-game winner is Urena.
Kind of nice for the Marlins to have a 14-game winner right under their nose. So here's Dansby, 50 RBIs for the Braves shortstop. A 7th inning hit brought home Lane Adams. And he strokes this one towards center. That's playable. And the Braves are down to their last out. Jace Peterson, a 2nd inning single. Braves have 8 hits. Miami has 18. And ball 1.
On that one.
Nothing wrong with the arm. Sometimes the aimage is off. Two balls and a strike. Braves are now away from dropping their 6th straight game. They've been outscored 37-14 in these 6.
That will match their longest losing streak of the year.
Off the plate. 3-1 in a 10-2 game. And he just walked Jace Peterson with 2 outs. So Johan Camargo will get to swing the bat. Camargo hitting a cool 300. And Ellington can't throw strikes all of a sudden. $25,000 plus staying for post-game fireworks. We saw plenty of them in the first 2 innings, where Miami erupted for 5 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the fifth, 2 in the eighth. 10 runs on 18 hits.
Star Wars night, cap giveaway,
Fireworks.
and fireworks.
And Yelich bobblehead tomorrow, I think. Two balls and a strike. That's pulled into the seats. And now 2-2. Ellington ready. Runner goes. And it's a changeup, a swing and a miss, and that's your ball game. The Marlins have beaten the Braves for the 3rd straight time in this series. Atlanta's losing streak to finish out the final week is now 6 straight. Big night for D. Gordon. He got to 60 steals and 200 hits. Giancarlo Stanton, no homers, but he's got another try tomorrow in the final game of the regular season, featuring Max Fried and Jose Urena.